Here I'm running and I got distracted. Okay. It's 9 a.m. Here we go. Happy Wednesday. Woo! Thank you, Carlinda. I get all organized and then I turn it on and I'm like, oh no, what do I do? What do I do? It's my note to myself from yesterday. Video. Yep. That's clear. Guns N' Roses t-shirt. Woo! I'm in a good mood. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. I'm not I'm not apologizing for being in a good mood or being over the top because I'm a woman of a certain age and I can get away with that. Can I get an amen way in the back? Who is this crazy person and why is she talking on my Facebook feed? Hi, I'm Andrea, and I'm the owner of the Quilting Shed here in Fredericton, New Brunswick, in Canada. I know. I could be just down the road for you across the street or like on the other side of the country or in a different country. I have people who watch from everywhere. Why? Because I'm hilarious, apparently. Shout out to my mom who is not in the comments giving me a hard time this morning because she is having a colonoscopy. Jokes I could make, but I'm a good daughter. I'm in a really good mood because my husband's fine. Sorry, he's had problems. We've talked about this before, but he's got a couple of prescriptions now. Talked to a good doctor, had a ton of tests, also a colonoscopy. Yeah, like I said, I'm just in a really good mood. You know how somebody's sick, just like worst case scenarios. It's all good. We just have to see how things pan out with medication. Yay! So that's that. Other good news. Let's talk about good news. Somebody said, how come you were such a relentless optimist? And I'm like, some days, if it's a bad day, some days I try and think, and sometimes it takes me a while to even think that I need to think about this. I think about 3 good things. Find 3 good things. They can be as little as seemingly unimportant, but if you just kind of find 3, like 1 sometimes can be difficult, but by the time you get to 3, by the time you get to 3, by the time you get to 3, you realize it's not all bad. My go-tos are usually heat, roof over my head, hot running water. I'm thinking, that's pretty basic. Yeah. And some people don't have that. Anyway, could be I spoke to a lovely lady this week whose dog had passed away, and I know what that's like. Dog's part of your family. Dog had the cutest name ever. But the good thing through all that, she had the love of a darn good dog, and that is a good thing. Other good things. Small businesses supporting one another. Have you seen these floating around in your favorite restaurants or your favorite other business establishments? Maybe you're out having lunch with your bestie. But if you pick up one of these, it's the Freddie Light from freddyplus.ca. I know. You're like, oh, it's just advertising. They have cute little stories in here, and we always like read them out to each other. Ooh, pineapple juice. But if you look right on the front page, look at that. Look at that. Professionally designed by a real graphic designer. I'm hitting the big time. I'm hitting the big time. Make sure you pick one up. And if you see this in your mailbox, look it. They even put out like this cute little newspaper. Good articles in here, ads from all your favorite local businesses, including me. Right there. Look at that. I'm moving up in the world. Somebody start singing the Jefferson theme song. To the east side, deluxe apartment in the sky. Sorry. We're going full on gospel in here this morning. Can I get a witness? I'm taking you to Fabric and Sewing Church. Not apologizing for that one. Susan, shout out to Susan. I love you so much. Susan took pity on me because, as you know, the mini wall is extremely popular. And why am I not doing this video? I just realized, why am I not doing these videos where you can see the mini wall in the back? I'm actually facing the mini wall right now. I'm in the spot where you, person asking for fabric, just begging, just a girl in front of the world asking fabric to love her back. I'm at the spot at the cutting table where you normally stand while I cut your fabric. And I've got a nice, perfectly sized cardboard box because you know what I say, nothing beats a really good cardboard box. You got to save it. But next time, somebody remind me, I should do this with like the minis in the background because that mini wall is super popular. And yes, I am still adding to it. So Susan took pity on me because, of course, you might notice I'm a little vertically challenged. My feet go all the way to the floor, but my arms, they don't go up very high. So she has brought me a pointing stick, so I can lovingly and delicately point out all the pieces on the wall and teach you all about it. This one's paper pieced. This one's not. Can you tell that that one was totally not paper pieced? Can you tell that that one right there, I lost patience with that particular technique and just said, screw it, and forgot about the rest? It's a process. And the reason I have a lot of these things, not just because they look pretty, is so that you can also see the process. Because sometimes it can be intimidating to look at another person's creative work and think, oh my God, I will never be able to do that. And I'm here to say, if you keep at it, you can totally. I know there's that myth about like the 10,000 hours and everything, but what if you just put in like 1,000 hours? I've got quilts hanging up here. I've been, like I said, I've been digging them out of the corners and the nooks and crannies and the back of the closet and the box we forgot to unpack, out of everywhere. And I've got another quilt hanging up over there at the very back of the room. You can see it all the way. It's a big Lone Star made out of a jelly roll. Somebody was complimenting it yesterday. I love your use of color and how you've arranged it. I'm like, it's just a jelly roll. I didn't pick all those colors. That was what was in the jelly roll. And she's like, but you arranged the colors so nicely. I'm like, it said to in the pattern. That was the example. And the jelly roll was like grouped by color. She's like, don't tell me that. Just let me be impressed, damn it. I said, just go closer and look at the quilting. Yeah, so sometimes I'll hold up older pieces too. So you can see the progress. So you can see, oh, okay, yeah. Okay, if you look at one piece standalone and you look at it and you go, okay, yeah, that looks pretty nice. But if you start looking really carefully, and I invite you to do this to my work, I'm okay with that because it's constructive criticism and we all learn from everybody. I invite you to look at my work and see the progress of what I did 15 years ago. Some of these pieces are 15 years old versus now. 15? Yeah, it sounds about right. Okay. Can't math in my head. Not enough coffee. Not enough banana wheeling folk at that point. Heidi bringing it in. As my mother is watching the replay, I would like you to know, Mother, that I have a loving group of friends who hassle me and give me a hard time when you're not here. Or as my friend Dora said yesterday, she's very French, and she said, "How you say in English? The apple, it falls in the ground." I said, "The apple doesn't fall far from the tree." She's like, "Yes, we. That's it. That's it. The apple is on the ground." Yep. All right. We've talked about creative works. We've talked about that. I had a point in here somewhere. I am not sure what it is anymore, but if you're watching this and you're a regular, you already know how that goes. Excuse me. My mom will be like, "Oh my God, Andrea, blow your nose." It's allergy. So the other thing that's happening that I finally have the brain to tell you about is the PFAFF holiday sales event. Woo-hoo! I have some flyers if you're seriously interested. I have a limited amount of these, and they're, the fancy kind. I'm such a geek. These came in the mail, and I was like, kicking right out over them. Oh my God. So some of the bigger machines have a lot of free gifts. I love it when they do these. If you've been thinking about a new machine for Christmas, please, please, please come talk to me. We could even do it after hours if you want to sit down and have a demo and really give some things a workout. The smaller machines, the introductory beginner machines, if you were thinking of getting something, if you're thinking of getting a starter sewing machine for somebody on your Christmas list, see if they would enjoy that hobby. I have a couple in here, and I mean, look, starting at $379. They are good machines, and why buy something from a big box store with no after sale help when you could buy some from your independent retailer who will give you some post sale aftercare and answer all your questions? I mean, seriously. The other thing that I wanted to mention, if you currently own a PFAFF and you're like, "I don't want a new sewing machine right now. I'm good. I'm happy with the one I've got. Love my PFAFF. I love them to pieces." Accessory sales. I've still got to place the order for accessories. People are looking for bobbins. I've got PFAFF needles all up and priced and ready to go. If you have a PFAFF and you need some needles, I can help you right out. Part of what I learned in the training, because yes, you can use the Schmetz needles in your PFAFF machine. You can use the Schmetz needle, Schmetz. It's too early to say all those consonants together. Schmetz needles in your sewing machine of any brand. But I do know when you have branded needles and accessories, they are specially machined down to microns, basically, to work perfectly in those machines. I don't know if I would want to take like some off brand from China sewing machine needle and stick it in a $5,000 sewing machine, because if it was like a millimeter off, it could actually cause some damage inside. That's one of the things I learned in training. So I've got those needles. The other thing, because I was actually talking about we recommend that you change your needle every 6 to 8 hours of sewing and or every type of fabric. I know, you got to get obsessive about needles. Yeah, the PFAFF, if you already have a PFAFF and you're looking to buy like feet, extra bobbins, extra PFAFF things, extension tables and everything, they're on sale for November. Woohoo, the more you buy, the more you save. And I have to place an order, so please, if you are looking for feet, bobbins, PFAFF things, whatever, come see me. I also swapped out on the cutie frame. The cuties are on sale. Please talk to me about cuties. I can get you something. If you want to buy a cutie and a PFAFF together, my CFO and I have come up with a couple of bundles that you will really, really like, where you can save even more. I want to double check because I wasn't fully prepared for this morning, but yes, I still did want to mention it because the CFO was like, "You should mention this. You need to mention this." So I did. So I got that. I got that. See, I got a bigger list in my notebook. The other thing that's coming now, I have 2 boxes on the way this week. One should be here sometime today. It has some Lori Holt fabric in it. It is from an older line of hers called Stitch. It's just a few of the fabrics. I did another one of those. My supplier had some. They're from an older collection. They're on sale, so you get to buy them on sale. More and more people are coming in for Lori Holt things. I have a lovely display at our front table when you first walk in, so you can see Lori Holt. I have been doing holiday stuff on that table and sale stuff. And when I don't have a sale or there's not a holiday, my plan anyway is to highlight a particular brand. Go highlight a particular brand so we can talk marketing. No. So this week, at least for this week, I've put a bunch of Lori Holt items. All the Lori Holt related items that are in the shop are on that table. So you can actually, once I started pulling it out, there were things I forgot about, like the Lori Holt fruit shapes applique template. I actually have some of those. Totally forgot about them. They were hiding like down, they were on display and out in the floor, but hiding. The other thing that I have that did come in, more of the tote bag panels. The first tote bag panel that I had, those are now all gone. I have another bolt of the other round. Which one are these? My Happy Place. My Happy Place tote bag panels. They are $39 for the big panel. And as somebody said when they picked the one up, I didn't realize the fabric was different and it's a lot heavier. Yeah, it's this nice canvas fabric. Yeah, so we're going to dig those out. Obviously, I was too lazy to dig it out for you. Somebody's watching this going, lazy? You're not lazy, woman. You just do not stop. Nope. We also did a jelly roll of tone-on tones, sorted tone-on tones. If you would like scrappy white tone-on tones in a jelly roll for a background. Nothing irritates me more when I'm doing a pattern and it says, grab a jelly roll of your favorite thing. Now grab a jelly roll of like white or background fabric. And I'm like, I got to cut all those. I did the work for you. Tone on tone. They're, what did we do in here? I think there's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 strips of 10 different types of tone on tone in this jelly roll for $45. I know. It's kind of a steal. Let me know if you're interested. We did one, but we will totally do it more if people want them. If you want plain ones, let me know, because it's more cost effective actually for me to make the plain jelly rolls than it is for me to buy them. It's wild. I was eyeball deep in reports like for the past couple days, and for some reason I start doing them at 8 o'clock at night. So I was in bed last night, supposedly trying to settle down and go to sleep, but I was tinkering with the website. Yeah. I've added a bunch of subcategories on things. So if, for example, if you go to the menu item that says pre-cuts, there's now 4 things at the top that if you just want to look at jelly rolls, you can see all the jelly rolls. You don't have to worry about the good morning. Bon matin, Dora. I think I said that right. Danielle will tell me later if I did or did not. Probably did not. So yeah, if you go to, for example, the pre-cut section, I did do this last night. You can see the icons at the top of the page. It says like jelly rolls, fat quarter bundles, charm packs, and layer cakes. So you can just click on those. You can see all of that particular pre-cut. I confess I didn't just do that for you. I also did it for me, because when I run reports in the software that I use, it makes it easier if I have them broken down like that. So there's that. So you'll notice a few things cropping up on the website here and there. And we are definitely behind on putting pictures on the newer items. As Snowy, my hard worker, says, it's really boring, Mom. I know, that's why I'm getting you to do it. Okay, so I said some Lori Holt was on the way, and I have a bunch of Lori stuff here. If you want more Lori Holt, please let me know, because deadlines are approaching for me to pre-order fabric lines that are coming out next spring. So if you followed along with Quilt Market and you saw some things that are coming out next year for anybody, and you think to yourself, oh man, I hope Andrea gets that in her shop, you have to tell me. Tell me that you want it, I don't see what I can do. Because the other thing that came out that was super interesting was the Tula Pink Roar. Did you see it? Tula Pink signature style with the nice damask and the love it. But dinosaurs, which tickles the heck out of me. But she does also have what is, I did not write down what it was. So there's a couple of quilts that she showed, one that had roar, one that had applique animals. The applique animals one, if you know the title of what I'm talking about, somebody will mention it in the comments. It's time for me to pre-order that, and I've got like 2 weeks to put my order in for it to come out like something stupid, like it's either like May or July or something. Let me know so I can get them in. And then we'll all be happy. Yeah, it'll be great. That. Yeah. So if you were in yesterday was a slow day. It was fine, but it was slow enough that the little, as Danielle said, that little hamster running around in here was whew, boy, there was smoke coming out my ears. I had looked at some stats. It's really cool when you're running a shop because the interesting thing is the more you dig, especially in a big retail space like this, everything kicks up a level. Get a little more professional. I started digging into reports, learning more about retail marketing and cost per square foot, sales projections, sales per inventory turnover rate. So there's a couple of things where I'm like, I really like this particular line of notions and rulers, maybe. And I dedicate a lot of space to it, have it spread out nicely so people can see what I have that's available. And one particular thing I'm not really going to name on camera, I dedicated quite a chunk of space to it, and it's not really selling. It's not popular anymore. I love it. It's just not popular anymore. So I consolidated that stuff down. You'll see it go on sale pretty soon. Not that I'm getting rid of all of it and would never have it again. It's just I have too much of that thing. You've heard me talk about this before. I already have this problem where if somebody wants, I've said it before, if 3 people want something, I'll order it in because I figure lots of people want it. But my other problem, mm, other than being far too self-aware, my other problem is I don't want to get in just like 3 or 4 things. If somebody's interested in a lot in a few of somebody's products, like a quilt somebody, I want to get in the whole product line. I just want to be thorough because, and also it's very, very satisfying to like look and say, for example, somebody like those Karen K. Buckley scissors. Now I have everything that's Karen K. Buckley that I can get my hands on. Thankfully, that doesn't take up too much space. It sells very decently. That's a very good example of it's selling according to the numbers and reports and things very well and according to the space that I have allocated. So that's just going along swimmingly, just like the Aurifil thread. You've dedicated this much floor space to it. You sell this much in a year. Awesome. Fantastic. Did the same thing with the glide thread, which is why I got that small thread rack. And I am telling you, I wish I could show you some of the reports because it's hilarious. Because it turns out with some things, this is what having a shop will run for you. If you have something that people are constantly requesting and you have a little bit of it and those are always selling and people still want more, and then you do something like get in the full line. See, now you can see why I want to get in the full line of other things, and then maybe sometimes they don't sell. But this time it worked. I got in the small spools of glide and the big thread rack. If you notice, it only takes up a little tiny bit of floor space. It just goes really tall. And there's a lot. Carly's also pointing out I have minimum quantities that I have to order too. Yes. So I had run the numbers on the glide thread and we decided, yep, it's going to be worth it to get the thread rack. That's not even all the colors. There's like 2 more racks that size. Probably won't get there unless I start selling out of what's there. So yeah. So when I looked at the reports, you've got the, I'll do it in reverse here. You've got the, here's Andrea's sales reports for small glides. And then we hit October when I get the rack and it goes like this. So it turns out This might sound simple to you, but you actually need numbers when you run a business. If you get more of something that people want to buy, they will buy more of it, and sometimes they will buy lots. So yeah, glide thread worked out. You know it was going to do that. Or fill thread's coming. The thread rack for that is a lot more expensive than the glide, but you don't need to know that. So yeah, that's just the fun behind the scenes things, and I like talking about those things, and some of you like listening, but it's like really interesting to me. Really, really interesting. It's yeah, it's fun. It might sound boring and businessy for people, but it's fun. So my point was, yes, I was rearranging some of our notions and the notions and gadgets and things. One of the things that struck me was just more of a usability thing. If you do a lot of handwork or you're a hand quilter, you might have maybe not consciously noticed this, but when you were looking for supplies, like the needles and thimbles were next to each other, but they're across the aisle from the hand quilting thread. So you had to keep walking back and forth. And okay, so you're doing hand quilting, but you want stencils. So you had to walk around the unit. That was a pain. And then you had to go around somewhere else to look for something else that's related. So now I actually have a whole section all the way up the wall. This is all the hand quilting accessories you need and everything related to handwork, all in one 2-foot space that goes up 6 feet high. It's full. That's how much stuff I have. And it's right next to the hand quilting thread and the all purpose thread. You think about it for a second, it's like, well, that makes sense, doesn't it? Yes, it does. And you look and go, that's a lot of space dedicated to that. Yeah, it's a nice, steady thing to have there. It's brilliant. Anyway, so, but some of the rack is still kind of a mess. I didn't get to the miscellaneous and things, but yeah, I did the same with the bag making supplies. That's great. Rulers have been consolidated. Some rulers are very steady sellers. Some rulers, not so much. I don't need to dedicate a ton of space to the rulers because they're just there. So that's your marketing and shop management lesson for today. Great. Dun, 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 dun. Speaking, right, yeah, I was getting to the bag. I keep talking about the bag hardware because I actually got in some more Emmeline bag hardware. Yeah, I know. I still have to price these and stick them on the floor, but I've allocated space because I've done that before, and we were trying to do that. I just realized I have notions on the way too. We were trying to do that while we were rearranging things. It's like we have a lot of empty hooks because stuff's just selling like crazy. So I have some restocked notions coming, and I had to make sure that when we're arranging everything so it looks nice and pretty on the shelves, the grid wall, that we've left space for things that are on the way that we have to restock because I don't have like Canadian Tire. I don't have a little piece of cardboard at the very back that says this is what's supposed to hang off of this hook. So we had to do that. That was funny. So I had to leave space for the Emmeline bag hardware. I did bring in some more zipper, just one new, I had to restock some zipper pulls. And if you don't want a bag of 10, because I know the fancy ones come in a bag of 10, please let me know if you'd rather buy some of those individually, because that's the thing that I can do. But I had to buy these ones. There's a little skull for your zipper pulls in black. I know, it tickles me. So I did get some more and left some space for this. So these will hit the floor soon, but I do have the nice, some people prefer the Emmeline bag clasps, hooks. What are these called again? Yeah, hooks, swivel snap hooks. You bag makers, you kill me. And I got this so pretty. Like, look, I mean, that's the nice shiny silver. It's very shiny. But we've got the rainbow too, and we've got the rose gold. I'm not getting rid of the biannual. I'm keeping that because, like I said, good seller. It's a certain product line. I've got a lot. I don't have all the patterns, but I think I got all the hardware other than things I need to restock. And I've got the soft and stable, and more strapping. I need more strapping. I've got all the mesh. I've got the vinyl. My biannual product line is almost complete. And then the shiny gold. But the Emmeline bag hardware, they have more metallic choices and fancier things and just the extras that kick your bags up from this looks like a really nice bag that you made to what do you mean you made that bag? It looks like you bought it at a high-end department store. You kidding me? Yeah. So watch for those hitting the shop floor. If they actually have, I'm looking for a particular, what color did they call this? Gunmetal. It's like a sort of black silver. It's very, very nice. Very nice. So if there's other Emmeline bag things, just talk to me as always. Dun, 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 dun. Well, I hit the end of my list. Bye. No, I'm kidding. Oh, it is 9:30 too. Look at that. So if you have any questions, comments, call our helpline. Feel like I'm doing that Canada broadcasting rule thing. If you have any questions about our broadcast, it's my phone voice. My mom is so proud. The other thing, Remembrance Day on Saturday. Yes, I will be open. I always have mixed feelings about that, but if I'm closed, people ask if I'm open. I always like to observe it, and as I said before, I mostly think it's too early to put stuff out. I know people have talked about it's disrespectful or whatever, and some veterans like we don't really care. For me, it's more like it's just too early. It's more than a month before Christmas, but after that, heck yeah. I've got my little chalk pens for the windows. I've got them already here. I'm thinking about what I'm going to do in the windows, where I'm going to put the Christmas tree. But see, my grandparents went through the war, so this whole thing is about trying to make sure that we don't have war again, and here we are. Wars like all over the place. That's all I'm going to say about that. Let's just hope it doesn't spread. Or maybe we could just like talk about things and not shoot people. That would I seems weird, but I'm thinking that might work better. Mm. So yeah, that's your takeaways for today. Tula Pink stuff. Let me know about pre-orders for that or any other fabrics that you see, because you, the consumer, can go to your favorite fabric company's website. Like you can go to the Northcott website and look through their menus and see what's coming like 6 months from now. You can see that. And it'll say, ask your local quilt shop to get this in. So that's the thing I want to hear about. So there's that. PFAFF. PFAFF things. Please talk to me about your PFAFF, or is it FAFF? FAFF. I think it's FAFF if you're German. German with an English accent. I don't know. Yeah, especially the accessories, because I've got to put that order in and I would like to get in some accessories and not have it sent. And then somebody comes in a week later and like, oh yeah, I wanted you to order that foot for me. Tell me that foot you want and I will stick it on the list and bring it in. There's that bag stuff. There's a few cave bolts on the way. Yes, I have some nice cave bolts on the way. Lori Holt from one of her older lines. How many bolts was that? I want to say it's around 10. Some notions are being restocked. Interfacings and battings, I have to restock those. Some of that's been touch and go with supply chain issues. I think that's it. So I don't want to jinx it too much, but I think we are on the upswing with some other stuff. I know talking to you and relating stuff going on with me. Been a rough year, been a rough summer. Knock on wood. Lorraine suggests that I open after 12 when Remembrance Day observance is over. That is also an excellent idea. Or I might close for like 20 minutes in there. Who knows? I'm playing it by ear. But yeah. I got some great war stories from my grandfather, and he used to chuckle through them. It was kind of funny. My grandmother didn't say much because they were in England. And one of the things they had to do was vacate my grandmother and my uncle to the north of England while her husband stayed behind in London, a city that was actively being bombed. No stress. And I think that's when she had tuberculosis and had to go stay in the TB hospital. So, my Uncle David, I'm not even sure where he was, probably with relatives nearby. So, if you like family history, like I like family history, that's the last thing I wanted to mention before I left you. I also have a little corner on the windowsill where I like to display pretty things. I have dug out some of my grandmother's things. The lovely portrait of my dear sweet grandmother, who helped raise me, is leveling on the windowsill, overseeing us all. I've dug out her scrapbook that she made with her handcrafts in it, lots of quilts, lots of afghans, lots of other miscellaneous things that she won lots of ribbons for at lots of exhibitions. A little photo album, a lovely tea cozy that she made with Sunbonnet Sue and Overall Sam, and two examples of her stitching work. Of course, one of them not finished. You got to leave unfinished craft work for your descendants to pine over. So she did some Italian trapento. I can explain that when you're in. And as you may have seen before, a little cutout bit of her hand quilting samples that when I was a kid, that's what she helped teach me quilting on. And I love to show it to the really old school hand quilting aficionados that it's like it's hand quilting or bust, or you're not a real quilter. And I hold it up to them. I said, "This is who taught me how to hand quilt." And they're like, "Wow, yeah, okay. I could see why you have a hard time hitting that standard because those are tiny freaking stitches, but you too can see them." And I will tell you the story of how this is a cutout piece because, of course, well, she made a little toaster cover and all the appliance covers. And after a while, after you get worn out, then you cut out the good bits because of the war, you see, in ration, and you save those so you can reuse them. So I have a little saved piece because she was going to turn that into a little pot holder and keep on using it until it fell apart. But now it lives in my quilt shop. She would be very, very proud. You can come see grandmother's legacy other than me. And with that thought, I will say goodbye. And you'll look at your picture and like, wow, yeah, you got her forehead. It's like a billboard up there. This is a disturbing habit of mine. We start getting a little emotional at the end here. Telling you. Anyway, three good things. Three good things. I have customers who have friends. I run my own business. And I have family who loves me. What more could you ask for? Aside from running hot water. All right, I will see you on the flip side. You go dig out your quilt stuff. Let me know what you're doing. And I will see you later. You've got homework. You'll be in later. I know you are. All righty. I'm going to put the end screen up while I hit the stop button. Bye.